Let's carve an awesome and cute ghost with a raven on top. Grab a template that I designed for you, print it and make a cutout. I'm using basswood. Make sure you place your project in such a way that the grain, those long fibers, run vertically. The wood thickness should be approximately an inch or 2.5 centimeters, give or take. You can make it a bit thicker if you want your ghost to be more round. Now you can use some carbon paper if you want, this way you will be able to trace all the details. But to be fair, you only need an outline. I will show you how to carve the rest. So I'm placing my cutout on a piece of wood and I make an outline with a pencil until I have a clear silhouette. We will need to get rid of everything else around it. You can use a saw, or if you don't have one, just carve it off with a knife. Basswood is a rather soft type of wood, so it shouldn't take you very long and you might find it relaxing. But of course a saw is quicker, so I use that to get my outline. Now we can start carving. Let's just show this line first between the raven and the ghost. I draw it with a pencil and then I will grab my detail knife, which is great for little whittles like this, and I will make a slicing cut following that line. I'm going to separate the raven and the ghost, making that division more visible. I achieve that by making V-cuts, so cutting first from one side and then from the other, going deeper and deeper. The tail of the bird, by the way, is going to be further at the back, so you can push it a bit more. Now you can see that the bird definitely sits on top of the ghost, it's not just one piece anymore. I'm going to take the edges off of the bird and the ghost. We don't want any straight angles ever, so if you see one, it means it needs to be rounded and taken off. And our ghost is too much of a rectangle at the moment. Maybe there are rectangular ghosts in the world, nobody can ever say that they don't exist, so I'm not entirely opposed to the idea. But today we are carving your everyday traditional ghost in a sheet that envelops its body. I also make the distinction between the bird and the ghost a bit more prominent, so that it sits more like on top of its head. So remember I said that the tail will be a bit further to the back? Well, the same thing will happen to the head. Both the head and the tail are narrower than the body. So let's take some wood off the head. If you check it from the top, you will see this convex curve. You can make it even more defined. Now I need to do the same from the back too, to mirror the other edge and to make it convex in the same way. Do it little by little, because if you take too much wood at once, you may not have enough room to make it symmetrical from the other side. Right, before we go any further, let's draw the separation line on this side too. And we're going to do essentially the same thing we've done at the front. We're going to do a series of V-cuts, going deeper and deeper. This will allow us to push the tail further to the back on the side. I constantly check my work from different angles to make sure that my bird is symmetrical, and then I keep carving until both curves mirror each other. At the same time, I round the head and other straight sides. I'm getting close to the shape that I want. I might just make the tail a bit narrower. And then I do the slight tweaking, looking at my bird from different sides and checking the symmetry. Okay, now I'm getting rid of the saw marks and the plain surfaces. I carve everything, not leaving anything untouched. So this is what we did, 2 curves from both sides, narrower head, thicker body, and then back to the narrower tail. These are the main things about a bird. You can do this by eye, but if you want to know the exact dimensions, it's going to be maybe 2 centimeters in the widest point or 6/8, 3/8 for the end of the tail or 8 mil, and the head will be around 1 centimeter or a bit less than 1/2 of an inch. Now let's work on our ghost. It's still a bit bulky at this point. You can draw an oval shape at the bottom. It will help you have a goal in mind. And then I start taking off the edges, coming close to the oval shape and make my ghost oval too. Be careful when carving here. Find the most comfortable position and control your knife so that it doesn't slip and goes into your hand or a bird. You can turn your work around and work from there with push cuts, controlling your blade with the thumb of your non-dominant hand. Get under the tail too, separate it from the ghost. Remove these flat surfaces from the ghost too so that it doesn't look uncarved. Alright, so it looks like this. No more sharp edges for my ghost, and the bird is looking pretty decent. We still have a few things to add though. So grab a pencil and let's show the beak. Somewhere here, and then go with that line all over to the top, and then to the other side. Then pick up a knife and make a stop cut and cut towards it from the side of the beak. This way the beak is going to be as if slightly below the head. Make the small cuts very carefully, just with the tip of your knife. Now, if you leave it that wide, your raven is going to look like a platypus. So the beak should taper towards the end, become narrower. Let's do that. Let's remove some wood first from one side and then from the other. I also round the edges as usual. Of course, ravens have sharp beaks and they do have edges, but still not as geometrical. I will also soften the sharp distinction between the beak and the head. Let's do this little corner as well so that our beak doesn't go straight into the head like an arrow. I'm going to clean up under the beak a little bit. Alright, let's finish off our beak. I'm going to draw the line a bit lower than the middle for the top and the lower part. The top part is about 2/3 of the overall width. Then we do the slicing cut, or it can also be called a stop cut, and then carve up to it from the bottom, so that the top part hangs over. Be careful with your fingers here, you should definitely wear cut-resistant gloves. Now let's do the wings. Use the bottom part as a reference of where it ends and then draw a curved line, sort of parallel to the body. Note the distance from the body and then draw it on the other side too. The algorithm here is the same as with the beak. We follow our pencil line with the tip of the knife and then give it some definition by carving towards it. I do it all the way along the line until the wings clearly stand out. Let's separate the wings at the back now. They look a little bit like a tailcoat with some flaps. I'm going to mark the middle and then carve it out with a knife. If the wings are too thick, you can shave off some wood from the top. You could leave it like this, but I want to add some feathers on the wings too. I start from about the middle of the wing and draw a few small feathers across both wings. For me, it's going to be 4 feathers on each side. And you've guessed it, now we follow what we've drawn with a knife and then give our feathers some volume by carving underneath towards them. Do that for all of them. Let's finish off our wings. I'm going to draw a few longer feathers. Finally, our bird is ready. Now we just need to give our ghost a face. You can go wild here and draw anything you like, some mad eyes, big mouth, a scared expression, or maybe it's a happy ghost. I'm going to settle on big eyes and a small mouth. Then take a knife and carve out the contents of each circle. Sometimes if there is too much fluff, I take a piece of sandpaper and go inside the eyes, cleaning them up around the edges. And that's it, now we just need to paint our figurine. You will only need 3 colors, green, black and white. As you can expect, I put some white on the ghost. Then, before painting the raven, I drew the eyes with a pencil. So this way I just know which place I need to avoid when I'm painting it black. I paint the raven, this is quite straightforward. I do it carefully around the eyes. And while I still have some black paint on my brush, I can also do the eyes and the mouth of the ghost. Then I paint the raven's eyes green, or you could also do yellow, that's up to you. Once the paint is dry, you can draw the pupil on top of the green. Once the paint is dry again everywhere, draw little catch lights in the eyes of a ghost and the raven too. And this is our completed figurine, a ghost with a raven that decided to sit on it for some sinister reason. You can leave it as a figurine or you can attach an eye screw and hang it as a fun Halloween decoration. Happy whittling!